So today I will be teaching decimals division. So the last videos I taught were addition, subtraction, and multiplication. So before you start this, I recommend that you go to those videos. So let's start with the basics. 10, 100, and 1,000, like we did in multiplication. So let's do 3.77 divided by 10. So it's gonna be the same as multiplication, except instead of going to the left, we're gonna go to the right. So let's go to the right. So as I taught in multiplication, so if you haven't watched my multiplication video yet, I recommend that you do because I'm going to be referring to it in this video. So check it out. In 10 there's 1 0, and as we said in multiplication, when you have a 0, you have jump once. So because it is division, we're going to jump to the right. So 1 jump, 2 jump, 1 jump. Well, not 2 jump actually. So we got a point here, it's always going to stay there. 3 would jump here, 7 would jump here, and the other 7 would jump in. Now here we need a placeholder 0. So our answer is 0.377. That one is a easy one. Let's go on to the hundreds. So for the hundreds, let me make up a decimal. Let's see, 3.597. Actually no. Let's do 396.7 divided by 100. As I said, when you divide, you go to the right. And when you multiply, you go to the left. So we're dividing. So we're going to go to the right. Let's write out the number 396.7. And now here, let's put a decimal point and an anchor. Now let's jump twice to the right. So 7 would jump here, 6 would jump here, 9 would jump here, and 3 would jump here. So our answer would be 3.967. As you practice more and more of these types of questions, it'll start getting easier and easier until you won't really have to think about it too much. So when you do these, practice them a lot. So it becomes way easier when you actually do them in tests. So now let's do the thousands. 3,789.87 divided by 1,000. So normally in a test, they wouldn't write it like this. They would write it like this. Don't let that confuse you. Because remember, always look for the decimal point. They might write it like this, or they might write it like this instead. So let's do this question. 3,789.87. So as we're dividing, we're going to jump to the right. So let's jump to the right. And as 1,000, there's 3 zeros, and the number of zeros equals to the number of jumps. So 3 zeros equals to 3 jumps. So 1, 2, 3, 7. 1, 2, 3, 8. 1, 2, 3, 9. And the decimal point stays here. And then the 8 jumps here. And then the 7 jumps there as well. And then the 3 jumps there. So our answer here, through all this great mess, would be 3.78987. So just massive confusing numbers. Let's do another question to try and clarify this one. Let's do 377.1 divided by 1000. So let's write a point here and another point here. 377.1. As we're dividing, we jump to the right. 3 zeros equals 3 jumps. So 1, 2, 3. That'll just jump off the board. But, you know. So 1 goes here. Then 7 goes here. Because 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. When you're doing these questions, don't actually make these humps. They'll just really confuse you and it might even make you get the wrong answer when you actually need it. So because we've got a decimal point and all the numbers are after it, we need a placeholder 0. I'm pretty sure all of you know what a placeholder 0 is. So the answer to this would be 0.3771. Easy, right? So let's go on to the next question. So let's do decimals divided by whole numbers. 3.6 divided by 3. So let's keep the decimal point as an anchor and do 3.6 divided by 3. That would be 1.2 because 36 divided by 3 is 12. But because of a decimal point, we'd write 1.2. So that doesn't really explain it that well, so let's do it. Let me show you how to do it. So because of 6, we do 6 divided by 3, 2. And then 3 divided by 3, 1.2. So basically normal division, except decimal point is anchor. But then, let's go on to another question. Let's go on to a question where a whole number divides by decimal, divided by 1.2. So we can't really do that easily. So if the smaller number here, not always a smaller number, but you know, if the number that's near 1.2, like in 7 divided by 1.4, 3 divided by 1, 4 divided by 2. So the last number, effectively. So if hopefully you understood that. If not, search up dividend and the stuff like dividend and divisor, where the dividend is the bigger number usually. Let me give you an example. So 6 is the dividend. 6 is a dividend. And then 1.2 is a divisor. And then the answer is the quotient. You don't really need to know that, but sometimes tricky questions can give you these kind of names. So when you have the divisor as a decimal number, you've got to convert the divisor into a whole number. So 1.2 times 10 equals 12. So this is really why you need to know that times in decimals. So please, if you have not seen the multiplying by decimals, most decimals multiplying video, please go over there and check it out before you do this part of the lesson. It would be extremely helpful to actually have this. So let's go on to the next. Now, because we've multiplied the divisor by 10, we also have to multiply the dividend by 10. So we get the answer 60, because 6 times 10 is 60. Now we do 60 divided by 12, which is a normal division, 5. So the answer is 5. You don't need to change it at all, because we balanced it out when we multiplied both of them by 10. So that balancing out doesn't really change the answer, the quotient, at all. Now let's go on to decimal by decimal. 3.7 divided by 1.2. Like I said, because the divisor is a decimal number, we've got to turn it into a whole number. So 1.2 into 12 because of times 10. And 3.7, let me change that to 6. Yeah, let's change that to 6. 3.6 times 10 as well equals 36. 36 divided by 12 is 3. So that's easy. The answer is 3, right? So the answer here is 3. You could just go and do that. But let me show you a different instance of question, where we have a question where the dividend has more decimal places than the divisor, like 3.66 divided by 0.3. Okay? So as we say, it's only the divisor that we have to turn into a whole number. You don't have to turn all of the dividend into a whole number. So let's do times 10, 3 times 10, 36.6. Now, remember when we had to divide, had a whole number as a divisor, but a decimal number as a dividend. So we basically have to do that kind of question here to get to the answer, which would give us 12.2. So in the end, the answer to this would be 12.2. 12.2. So that's pretty much the basics of decimals division. Thank you for watching, and I hope you watch another one of my